In today's video, I talk about a few changes I am making to this show, and also I want to give you my number one tip for helping your loyalty/rewards program be successful. Let's get shooting. Hi, and thanks so much for joining me for this episode of The Intersection. It is now the 52nd episode of this show. It is March the 4th, 2019, and today is the first Monday of the month. It's so exciting. I wanted to take a minute and just tell you about a couple changes I want to make with this show moving forward. Number one, I want to make each episode just a little more personal. I want to let you know what is going on in my business life and my personal life, and give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look of what it's like being an entrepreneur and starting out a business. Number two, I'll continue to give you the same kind of content that I have been with tips, tricks, things I've learned, mistakes I've made. I'll put all those toward the end, but I'll always make sure that in the notes and the show description, I'll put when those start. So if you want to just skip right to that, you certainly can. All right, let's get going with today's episode. I had such a fantastic weekend. I got to spend a lot of time with my family, seeing them do all kinds of great things. My kids are so talented in so many different sports and activities. We started out on Saturday morning going to see our 12-year-old perform in her show choir competition. It was fantastic. She has such an amazing voice. It was really neat to see how much they'd improved since their last competition. We left there and went to see our oldest, who is now a senior, do her color guard competition. Again, amazing stuff, and they laugh at me because every time I watch one of these performances, I start crying because I realize there's only a couple left, and she's been doing it all 4 years of high school, and I just spent a lot of time helping her get to practice and go to all these performances, and it really gets to me every time I watch one of those. So I got to see her do that. We spent the evening out with some friends at Cooper's Hawk. Love me some Cooper's Hawk. Great wine. We just did a tasting, but man, it's so much fun to go there. If you haven't been there, check it out. And then yesterday, we spent the entire day in Cincinnati, Ohio, watching our youngest at a cheerleading competition. If you've never been to one of those, you're in for a treat. There's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of hollering, and that's by the parents. But it was very fantastic, so much fun to watch her perform. They improved over their last one, so a great weekend. And during that all, still made time to get some business things done. You know, the great thing about being entrepreneurs, you can work when you want to. So while I'm at the cheerleading competition yesterday, I was doing some posts in between performances. I was able to connect with a couple people via email. So you get to continue to work even when you're out and about. You don't have to be chained to a chair and miss out on your family stuff. And that's one of the great things about being an entrepreneur. Now, I'm super excited for this week. I'm starting out on the DMAC Challenge. For those of you who've watched every Friday, I do a Fitness Friday, and I report on how I did throughout the week. So today, my new goal for this week is to do the DMAC Challenge. And those not familiar, that's something that my brother has coined the term, I believe. I'm not sure how it got named that, but anyway, you do 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and 100 jumping jacks each day. So I've already done my run for the day, which is something I normally do, but I just finished 20 reps of each of those things. I'm gonna try and do that each, or maybe every hour, maybe every couple hours throughout the day, because I don't think I could do 100 at once. I could barely do 20. So we'll see how that works. And believe me, if you haven't tried jumping jacks since you were like in elementary, try some today, especially if you're in your 40s like me. Very interesting how that works with your body there. Another part to my fitness challenge is the keto diet. This will be my second week on this. I'm really excited to see the results. I had a pretty good first week. We did cheat just slightly over the weekend with some wings that were breaded, but I didn't really eat many of those, and that's really about the only bad thing I had. I'm also very excited this week because Purdue is in first place in the Big Ten. Yes, that's right. 2 games left in first place. They win 1 for the tie, 2 for the outright. Go Boilers, boiler up, hammer down. And finally, in business-related things this week, I have 2 proposals out to prospective clients. I'm very excited about working with both of those. Hopefully this week I will get the okay. And I know as a business owner, there's nothing worse than putting that proposal out there, meeting with the client. They seem extremely interested. They let you know, we'll probably have an answer for you next week. Next week comes and goes, and you don't get that sign off, you don't get that okay, and it can be a little frustrating, but I haven't heard no, so that's a positive thing. And as long as I don't hear that awful 2-letter word no, I still am going to be positive and think that these could be great relationships with these clients, and hopefully they'll sign off this week. Tomorrow I get to present to my networking group and tell them a little bit about myself and my business, so that's something exciting. So I have a great week in store, hopefully a Big Ten championship. I get to go watch the kids perform again this weekend, so lots of awesome stuff coming up. Now let's get into today's topic. I want to tell you my number one most best advice I can possibly give you for your rewards/loyalty program. As I mentioned before, over the last few years, I've been one of the people responsible for helping to run the Scotty's Brewhouse reward/loyalty program. And we had over 70,000 members of that program. And I will tell you, the number one thing I can give advice to anyone who has a rewards/loyalty program is you need to make it as simple as possible for people to use. You need to make them be able to use that program in as many different ways as it can, whether that be an app, whether that be with a card, whether that be with their phone number, whether it be with an email address. Any way you can make it so that they can use that program and be a member of it, the better off you will be. You need to remember that every customer is different. Some people love to have apps on their phone and they don't want to carry around cards. Make sure that they can do that. Some people love the card and they don't want to put anything else on their phone. Make sure they can use a card. Other people don't want either. They want to just say, here's my phone number. I want to access my rewards program. Make it so they can do that as well. The more you restrict it, the more you make it only one way for people to access your program, the harder it's going to be to make that program successful. You need to be all inclusive so you can get as many people as possible to use your program as easily as possible. The biggest mistake, in my opinion, that we made at Scotty's Brewhouse with our rewards program was limiting the access to the program to people who only had smartphones. We released an app. The app, in our opinion, was very great. It worked very well. It took a lot of the responsibility out of our team members' hands and allowed the guests to get their points on their own. They could mobile pay. It was a great app, but we made that the only way that you could access the rewards program. By doing so, we eliminated a huge portion of the population. There are a lot of people out there, believe it or not, that still don't have smartphones. Shout out to my dad who has an old-fashioned flip phone. He would not be able to use this rewards program. There are other people out there who just have way too many apps on their phone and they don't want to put another one on there. And finally, there's a lot of people out there who will install an app and they have no idea how to use it. So if our team members were not thoroughly educated on any problems or things that could arise with using that app, it became a frustrating experience for guests who didn't know how to use it either. Another big problem was if our app was down or we were having technical difficulties, there was no way for the guests to be able to use it at that point in time. They couldn't redeem their points, they couldn't get the discounts that they wanted to get. No one could even look them up and see because we'd taken out any other way for them to access the rewards program. Now, did this stop people from coming in? Probably not. People still were visiting, but the big part we were missing now was the valuable customer data that you get when someone uses your app. Whenever they scan that card or give you that phone number or scan that app, you're able to track pretty much everything they do in the restaurant, everything they order, when they came in, their check total, all kinds of great information that allows us to market to them better. And because we put these restrictions on them to only use the app, we were losing out day after day on valuable customer data of the people who just didn't want to do it that way. If your company has a loyalty program or is getting ready to launch one, the one piece of advice, again, I will give you is make it as easy to access as possible. If you put it on your website, you can create an app if you have the money to do that. Give them a card, even though that's old school. People still like to do that. They like the little card. They like how easy it is to swipe it. Or have it be accessible by your phone number. Make it as easy as possible. And that will help you guarantee success, and it will definitely increase the amount of times people use your program. Thank you so much for watching today. I would love to hear your feedback on the new format of the personal, business, and family stuff at the beginning of the episode. If you liked it, you didn't like it, you can leave comments, you can tweet at me. If you want to email me, my email address is bruce@tworoadsdigital.com. Anyway, I'd enjoy hearing what you think. And now I will leave you with a quote I say every single day: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Oh, off the front of the rim, so close. I missed today, but I'm going to keep on shooting. So should you. Have a great day and a fantastic week.